Hey everybody, and welcome to week 7 of the course. We are getting towards the end. I'm sure you guys can see the home stretch. This week we are going to be talking for the first time about imperfect competition. So last week was all about perfect competition, or this theory that there could be perfect competition. And this week we're going to be introducing the idea of monopolies, and that is obviously imperfect competition. So if you look at Module 7, again, we're going to have a soft chalk here. And you can see this nice little graphic here showing perfect competition on one side being more competitive or the most competitive, and on this side having monopolies being more concentrated, less competitive. The biggest thing I think to start with is just the idea of what is the problem with monopolies from a supply and demand standpoint, from an economic efficiency standpoint. The problem is that monopolies produce too little and charge too much. And what you're going to see is that they're going to use all the same tactics that we learned in perfect competition. They're going to produce where MR equals MC, where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, but then they're going to get to charge much higher than where supply meets demand, and you're gonna see that this week. We're gonna use one particular example throughout the module, and that is right here, this drug called Combivir, which is an AIDS cocktail. And I use that because a lot of the videos discuss it, but basically it sells for about $12.50 in the United States. But it only costs 50 cents to manufacture. So in a perfectly competitive world, you know, when you look at that Mr. Darp line, it's at 50 cents, and every pill should be charged to the consumer for 50 cents. That's where you would be in perfect competition. However, in this particular case, because there's a patent on the drug company can charge significantly higher, right? They can produce less and charge $12.50 for the pill. The reason we know that is because in India, there is no patent for Combivir, and it does sell for 50 cents a pill. And the company just makes very small profits there, no economic profits, but just normal profits. So that's a very interesting part. And so, again, work your way through, take lots of notes, especially when there are graphs, because they help you tell the story. The work this week is a little bit, it's pretty straightforward. There are some monopoly review questions. So basically what I would do is I would print out those questions and sort of have them with you as you are reading the soft chalk. And then you can just answer them as you're reading the soft chalk, and the answer should be pretty straightforward for you. And then there's going to be a concept in this week called price discrimination, which is something that monopolists try to do. Price discrimination is the idea of selling the same product to different people for different prices. So a great example that you might just have on the tip of your tongue is the movie theater, right? Everybody's seeing the same movie, they're sitting in the same seats, but yet we charge senior citizens, people in the military, students, and children different prices than adults. And so that is what we call price discrimination. And I think you'll enjoy this little podcast about Spirit Airlines. If you guys have ever flown it, most people don't like it, but it is incredibly cheap. And what they are trying to do is something called price discrimination. So enjoy that. And then there's going to be a monopoly application problem. So this is a graph question. You definitely have to understand how a monopoly graph works, all the ins and outs. And so you can tackle that as well, and then of course a test at the bottom. One thing that you don't see here that is going to be added is there's going to be an extra credit assignment this week for those of you guys who feel like you just want an extra little boost to your grade. I'm going to create a case study about the question of the week. If you go back to the outside, the question asks, what if your life-saving drug jumped from $13 a pill to $700 a pill? That is something that actually did happen, and you're just going to analyze it. And it's not it's not an easy answer of who's right and who's wrong, but there's going to be an extra credit case study about that. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward week. Please ask me any questions that you have. Again, the graphs are getting slightly more complicated. It takes a little bit more time to understand them. And good luck. Please text or email with any questions.